the type of people Donald Trump wants around him, is
Yep.
these rich billionaires. And it's funny because when I think of things like this, I think of how people get, and you hear MAGA people talk about how they're upset because, people live off the system of, Social Security, or they live off of Medicare, or they live off of food stamps and all this
Oh,
other
they're
shit.
taking all the houses,
All
which
this
is why
stuff
the
they're
housing
taking, they're
market
taking, they're
is
taking.
over.
But the problem is, if you want to get mad at why we are in this situation, it's not because of little Joe Schmo out there, or that's living in the projects, trying to feed their families.
Who's working two
See,
jobs.
you want to take the money for, you want them to not have any food stamps to be able to feed their families. But you don't realize is the ones you need to be complaining about is the billionaires who are scamming the system.
Yeah.
And I'm going to explain that to you right now. It's like Walmart, for example. I'm giving Walmart as an example of billionaire corporations because they're all part of it. Walmart takes their employees, for example, and they pay them very low wages. And while they're paying them very low wages, what they do is they pay them low wages and they force them to go and get put on Medicaid because when it comes to that point, they cannot afford health and
Matter
care
of fact,
insurance.
that's in the training videos when you go into
Yeah.
Walmart, when
It's
you
like-
start working.
It's like go get on Medicaid and be forced on the system.
Yeah.
So go after these corporations because they're the ones who are pushing people to get put on these things.
That's why it is so important, especially this holiday season, is they're not going to listen to us. Did you know there's another No Kings rally scheduled for Saturday?
No.
All over the United States.
Okay.
There's another No Kings
We're
rally.
going to have to follow that.
Here's the thing, though. The billionaires, they could care less about you.
No.
The only way to hurt them and to get your voice being heard is stop buying from them.
Yeah.
Use your wallet as your voice.
Yeah, because when you start going against, if you start taking away from their money, which that's what they love more than anything,
Yep.
you start to cut into their wallets, that's when they start to realize, oh shit, something's going on here.
We're going to change. We got to
gotta
do
change
something.
Yeah, so, you got to realize, I mean, like when you're buying Christmas gifts, for example, quit buying on Amazon and all that crap.
Because freaking Amazon had given, what, $6 billion towards this ballroom?
Yeah, I mean, they're paying for it. And so you're giving them money to buy this stuff and to build a ballroom. Why not give it to a mom and pop grocery store or some store? Go out and find yard sales. Find these like Christian community places where they have
Craft fairs.
yeah,
and all
like
kinds of
like they have like clothing and stuff like that. It's almost like a Goodwill, but it's But anyway, go to one of those
Yeah.
and buy from there because that's what's
Buy local, shop local.
Oh yeah,
Use your money. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Amazon. Don't go
No.
to Target. Because they don't care about you. They know that they push on TV these subliminal messages to you
Right,
constantly. You must buy here, buy this, buy that.
buy from us.
Yeah, it's like, okay, have you a lot of time? As a amateur couponer, right? I don't understand why one grocery store will have something at one price.
Yeah,
The next grocery store 5 minutes down the street will have it $3 cheaper
yeah.
for the same item and everything.
Why is that? Yeah,
But you don't know that unless you compare. See, but a lot of people don't have time to compare
no, they're
because
in a hurry.
they have to hurry up and get home, take care of their kids, do all this stuff that they need to do, go to work.
That makes sense.
So they just run to Walmart. Like, did you know Kellogg Avenue, not Kellogg Avenue, Beachmont Avenue?
Oh. Waif Cincinnati, 88.3 FM.
The Kroger's in Beachmont, Anderson, for I think it was a can of Bush's beans, right? Because I was with Grandma the other day and we
Oh yeah.
at the store. $3.99.
Damn.
But the Kroger's in Amelia had it for $2.49.
So why? So it's
the
higher because
same company.
So it's higher because it's a different location in the area, like
Yeah.
it's like the Ritchie Town or something. Okay.
But then Walmart had it for $2.29. You know, and that's just like their normal price. That was not a sale price. That was their normal tag price.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I had a point that I was going on.
Of how
But
they, yeah.
How they play people.
Well, yeah, they
you know,
placate it.
You ever go? Here's another example. Did you know that if you download the Walmart app and you can scan things in the store?
Yeah, like check prices and stuff.
Yeah, you check the price of something in the store because they have something called hidden clearance, right?
Right.
Now, if you find something and they only have one and you're like, oh my God, I just found a vacuum for $10.
Yeah.
That vacuum may also be on sale at another Walmart, but it's going to be $50 more because they section out. Here's what I mean is
What the hell?
this is where big businesses use and abuse people and don't care.
Right.
They know the low income sections of towns
Okay.
won't have as much money, so they'll clearance off certain items at that store, focusing on these people, where somebody on the other side of town, like Eastgate, where there's a little, ooh, don't do that. I was fine where I was. Don't mess with me, head.
Don't mess my head.
But the people in Eastgate are considered more middle class, so they don't need that vacuum at $10. They'll buy it at $50.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I would never thought. I mean,
This is just how one of the little things that they don't care about you. They know that the people are going to buy this stuff anyway.
Right.
So they put these subliminal messages out to you. You need this TV.
Interesting.
You need this TV. When you don't need to buy it from them,
right.
why
right,
buy
right.
that brand new flat screen 55-inch for $798 when you could buy just a teeny bit smaller one from a pawn shop for 75% off?
Oh wow. Yeah.
You know what I
that would
mean?
be better. I mean,
That Xbox that your kid wants or that PlayStation your kid wants, why buy it brand new from Best Buy when you can buy it at an auction site or a pawn shop? That same thing
right. I mean, that's a good idea.
for
I get
half
it.
off.
I'm with you on it. I get it. And I think that's what we need to do, folks. You need to really research what you're doing
Yeah.
and get away from these big corporations and quit buying from them because,
I mean, you scroll
You
on
know, it's
Amazon
not
looking for
working.
the best deal. Why not do that for everyday stuff anyway?
yeah, I mean, I that's what I would think. I would think it would be the best thing for,
Quit giving your
do.
money to multi-billionaires who could care less about you.
yeah, because they
That's
don't
the
care.
only way to get prices down. You stop buying from them, they're going to see the loss that their company's making. And then
That's a
they'll
good
be
point.
like, oh, maybe we need to start lowering some costs to get people back in the door again. Maybe we need to have our CEO sit down on a chair with his knee kind of up and his hands folded and talk about how hard times are and how we're with you as a company and we appreciate you. You know those things where anytime a company gets in trouble, they always put out that infomercial of the CEO
Oh, yeah,
sitting next
yeah,
to
yeah.
a fire with his knee up on the desk talking about how he understands the hard times we're going
Yeah.
through. Dude, you've had a golden spoon in your mouth your whole life and now you're sitting cushy in a $500 million mansion, but you understand how bad
Yeah.
it is for us right now.
That's
But
so
that would
stupid.
be the only way. I gotta stop ranting.
No, man, but it's funny that you said that because I was sitting there thinking the same damn thing. I'm like, it's just, but people out there are just messed up there, you know. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say something here because, you know, somebody mentioned something the other day, and I wanted to bring this up. And I was reading about this, and I wanted to bring this to light, okay? I'm going to get into a little religious stuff for you for a second. Now, everybody knows that when they think of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, a lot of people claim that Jesus is a white man, right? Because they say, well, he's a white man because he's on a cross. A crucifixion, you'll see it a lot of times with churches or whatnot. And a lot of people don't realize, but you ever see crosses that have Jesus on it, nailed to the cross, and then you have another crucifix that has it has nothing on it. It's a blank cross. Mm-hmm. You ever see those?
Yep.
Okay, so do you know why that is? You know what it indicates when you see that?
No.
So the cross that has a picture of Jesus, like nailed to the cross, the little icons, you see them on necklaces or whatever, that indicates that Jesus was crucified. And then when you look at the cross with Jesus not on the cross, that is the proof of resurrection, that he descended to heaven. So it's like the crucifixion, then he rose.
But
that's what the indication of it is.
Jesus was not crucified on a cross; he was crucified on a stake.
I know that, yes. But here's what's.
I mean, I guess we could go into biblical
but
time.
I know, but I want to get to the whole point of what this
Sorry,
is.
go ahead.
So when you think about Jesus, Jesus was not a white man.
Nope.
Okay, he was dark skinned. So everything that people depict as Jesus being a white guy,
Dark curly brown hair,
is wrong, right?
black brown hair. Yeah.
He was a dark skinned man. And then when you hear people out there going, well, I don't want to have these foreigners out there. I don't want no foreigner. Jesus didn't lie. Well, and then they say they're Christians, but they want to get rid of foreigners. Now, here's what I say. I think you guys need to reevaluate. Are you really a Christian?
Have you read your
saying
Bible?
that? Because in the Bible, in Leviticus 19:33 through 34, clearly states, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. What does that mean?
Means he's telling you to love the immigrants as you. Here's the problem. The problem with this statement is love them as you would love yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think
These people love themselves.
themselves.
No.
I think the loss we have lost in society, loving ourselves, loving our neighbors, loving strangers, being kind, and I think we've lost that because we've lost who we are ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've lost the love for ourselves. And I'm not talking about the vain, I'm better than you and I love me. I'm talking about taking care of yourself and loving who you are and being happy with who you are. That brings a more lighter, more healthier outlook in life. That way you can be more kind and compassionate to others.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. But yes, let me just make that point clear. Jesus was not a white man, but he was darker skinned, and you got to think because he was Hebrew, and that and back over there, like in Egypt and Jerusalem and all that. They were not white people because, that's just what it was. So when you see like this on television, or you see, like, what was that one? Oh my God. The one that Mel Gibson made,
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of Christ. I know they tried to make that guy to be
a little bit
Jim
darker
Caviezel.
skinned.
Yes. But it was not, that's the whole point of it.
You ever notice Jesus is always portrayed by a white man?
Absolutely. Every single time. I think, like, when you think about it, it's like every single damn time that's what he is. He's depicted by a white guy. And everybody goes, well, that's what I've got to remember.
You know
Jesus
why
being.
they do that? It's because they manufacture, especially when they're doing movies and stuff, like back in the day when white men used to play Indians.
Well, yeah.
the reason
They
they
would
did
paint their
that is
faces.
because society will only accept
White people.
white people
Right.
playing roles, even though it was a dark-skinned person. They will only accept the role if
What
it's
about blackface?
back then. That was okay because that was considered you were just dressing for the part of a black man. But instead of
Yeah.
hiring the black man for it or the Indian man for that role,
Mm-hmm.
they used white men because A, it looked better on camera, and
Yeah,
B,
yeah.
society would not accept them. That's one of the reasons why they portray Jesus as a white man, is because society in general, not the individuals, but the
Right.
society in general, cannot accept the fact that Jesus was not a white man.
I mean, I understand why people think that, but you know what? And again, this is what these Republicans are. These certain Republicans out there, these mega Republicans, they are what's called white nationalist Christians. So, what that stands for, if you don't know what a white nationalist Christian is, they are very racist because they believe in white power, whites only, white religion, that everybody else is not exempt. That's what it is. But that's
That we're the
that's what we're
superior
dealing with.
race.
Yeah, superior race, white man. But it's not what it is. It's definitely not that.
And this whole, immigrants thing, are you Native American? Are you full-blooded Native American?
Right. Are
Because
you?
if you're not full-blooded Native American, you were also an immigrant.
That's right.
You were not
They have
Here.
they are the only ones that have the right to complain or
Yeah.
say, I need you out of my country.
every single person in this country. If you are not a full-blood Native American, you and your family were of immigrants, probably illegally came here. Because if you came on the Mayflower, you came here illegally because
Well, that's the
you
whole
took.
point. I mean, almost every person in this world, in America, your family was immigrants.
And
Unless you're 99.9999% Indian, and that's a Native American Indian.
Yeah. And what was that? I was talking to my brother, and he was saying, even Cherokee Indian, Cherokee doesn't recognize you as a Cherokee
Oh no!
unless you can prove that your family signed some registry. And I can't remember the name of it,
Really?
but back in the 50s and 60s, they
Yeah.
made the Indians sign this registry,
Okay.
but some of them didn't.
Right.
So in order for you to be considered an actual Cherokee
Mm-hmm.
Indian or have any Cherokee blood in your line, you have to trace back to a family member signing that registry.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right.
Which is weird, little fun fact I didn't know, but
There's a guy, I'm going to play an audio here. There's a guy that we like to listen to a lot, and if you ever have a chance, go on to his YouTube. He's also on TikTok. The gentleman's name, he's a young boy. His name is Dean Withers. Dean Withers, young kid. I mean, he's in his 20s. He debates mega Republicans. And this is a guy who actually debated Charlie Kirk, and he actually won against Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to tell you, this guy is smart. This young kid is smart. He's taking, I want you to hear this. He takes on a female mega supporter, and she supports Donald Trump like, oh my God, it's crazy. But what's really nuts is her viewpoints on Christianity, children, abortions, and everything else. It's amazing. And just listen to what Dean Withers does here. It's so funny that I started laughing because the stupidity of MAGA is proven right here. I mean, this is why they debate them, because mega Republicans, almost all of them are pretty damn dumb.
How long has this been?
Oh, man, no, you shouldn't. He's a really terrible president and a terrible guy, too.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch base on the files and those types of things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We could talk about Donald Trump's a sexual predator that, sexually exploited women and girls in Miss Teen USA, Miss USA. We could talk about how he was best friends with Epstein. According to Epstein, in an email from 2011, knew exactly what he was doing with the girls, didn't said nothing, was best friends with him. Let's talk about let's talk about it. How is this somebody that you could possibly support?
Okay, so initially, talking pageant-wise. So are we totally, disregarding, the women who have spoken out who actually partook in those pageants and kind of were there on the scene and what they spoke out about, him not being a predator and actually going into those rooms, after they were dressed and all those types of things? Or
Oh, well, I mean, no, we're not disregarding it at all because, I'd accept the testimony of one of the pageant contestants that spoke out in years later and said that she was a beauty pageant contestant at Miss Teen USA 1997 that said every single time Donald Trump walked backstage on me, I had clothes on, right? But I don't think that discounts the testimony of other victims that said that they didn't have clothes on when he did it to them. Not to mention the fact that in this clip, Donald Trump himself says that they were naked.
okay, so which contestants were those that claimed that he walked in when they weren't dressed?
Yeah, for sure. Let me grab their names real quick. But before I give you their names, why don't you just accept Donald Trump's word for it? He said they were naked.
I just would like the facts,
Okay,
Because
right?
he can say whatever he wants to say, but initially these women who actually went through this, I would like to have their word over his. See what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I think that their words align here. No response?
I didn't even hear a word you said. I'm sorry.
I said that I think that I think that their word would align here.
Okay, well, I'm waiting for it. Who were they?
Here we go. Mariah Bilato, who was a former Miss Vermont Teen USA, then 3 other women who asked to keep their names anonymous. But once again, right, it's not a question if Donald Trump did this to them. It's not a question if Donald Trump walked backstage while they're naked, considering that Donald Trump said he did. We have a direct admission of guilt from the person who did it, right? This would be like a buddy of mine going to a party last night. It was Friday, right? And then coming to me today and telling me that he raped a woman at that party, and then that woman coming to me and saying that he raped me at this party. It would be preposterous. It would be insane for me to deny that he raped her. Just like it's preposterous and insane for you to deny the fact that Donald Trump sexually exploited naked women and naked girls at Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, considering the fact that he said he sexually exploited him. He said that he sexually exploited them, and they said that he sexually exploited him.
So are you in reference to the Howard Stern clip? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so could you play that clip real quick for us again?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you could.
Of course, I'll never.
Well, you could also say is. Well, you could also say as the owner of the pet.
1 second, I'll never pass up on an opportunity to play that clip. You got it.
Say hello with vagina. And
Well, you could also say as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay, and what was the initial question that was asked before he said that?
Oh, you
By
want to hear
Howard?
the full context? Let's go to play the full
Yeah, I
context.
would love to.
Only makes it worse.
Construed, however, as
conflict?
yes.
I don't see it as a
It
conflict.
could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
Question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
Well, you could also say as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's
That literally tells nobody anything. That
Right.
literally.
Well, I mean, it
that
just kinda makes it a
context
little
gives
bit-
us absolutely nothing.
I wouldn't say that it changes absolutely anything of his testimony, that being that he testified to the sexual exploitation of women and girls. It just makes it a little bit worse because it seems to acknowledge that it's a conflict of interests, meaning that he seems to acknowledge that, yeah, he is sexually exploiting them by abusing his position of power as the owner of the pageant, by allowing himself to unconsensually barge into those dressing rooms, to then abuse their position of vulnerability, feeling vulnerable enough to take their clothes off, to get undressed and change in a private woman's only space, to look at them while they're naked, unconsensually, which would amount to sexual exploitation. Now, in your bio, it says God first, you're a good Christian. God says sexual exploitation is wrong. Do you?
110%.
Okay.
Now,
so then
we
you
can
so then you agree that
we
what
can argue religion.
So do you agree here that what Donald Trump admitted to is sexual exploitation?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Well,
because once again, you take the testimonies. Hold on, Dean.
Let's first
Dean,
define
look.
sexual exploitation. Could you just allow me to run this dialogue train on you real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you deny that what Donald Trump admitted to in that clip is sexual exploitation. Hopefully in like the next 60 seconds I'll be able to change your mind. Do you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would include one's abuse of a position of power over another person's position of vulnerability and the furtherance of unconsensual sexual conduct?
Correct.
Okay, so in this clip, Donald Trump said that he would allow himself to walk backstage into this dressing room, that's him abusing his position of power, to then look at these women when they had no clothes on, that's abusing their position of vulnerability, for the furtherance of the unconsensual sexual conduct, that unconsensual sexual conduct being him unconsensually looking at them while they were naked.
That literally, there was no context in that clip speaking about these women being undressed.
Yes, there
None.
was. So there
None.
was.
No, okay,
I'll
go
make sure to
ahead.
replay that for you. So just to clarify,
Yeah, okay.
when I have no clothes on, I'm naked. What about you?
It depends on the amount of clothing I have on.
Well,
right? So if I don't have a bra, I don't have a bra.
Well, you just said it would depend on the amount of clothing you have on. So therefore, if you have no
Correct.
clothing on, you're naked, correct?
Yeah, no clothing on. Okay, so go ahead.
So therefore, if Donald Trump said they had no clothes on, they'd be naked, correct?
Yeah,
So
right.
if they were naked, it would be sexual exploitation, correct?
Yeah, right. But it's making sexual contact with someone. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm now
you
going to
just
play.
gave me that
I'm now
definition.
going to go ahead and play you the clip where he says they had no clothes on. And once I play you this clip and you listen to him say that they had no clothes on, you're going to have to concede that he sexually exploited them, which will be in about 15 seconds.
Everything is
Okay.
good. You're there.
Yeah, the dress
Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no left. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good. You're there.
Yeah, the dress
Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no left. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good. You're there.
Yeah, the dress
Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no left. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no left. Standing there with no left. Standing there with no left. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no left. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay, right. So the rest of that clip, right? He would have had to have finished that word. Okay. I know you were being condescending when you were slowing that down, trying to explain this to me. But I'm asking you, was that before or after he entered those rooms, right? Because again, we have two testimonies from contestants. right?
Wait, why are you saying anything other than, yeah, he sexually exploited them?
Because it's not sexual exploitation by your definition, right? Unless he's making sexual contact with them,
Chloe?
yes or no?
Chloe? Moving on to the next
Dean?
issue.
Dean?
Right, done.
Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no...
Let me replay the stream for you.
Yeah,
So
right.
if they were naked, it would be sexual exploitation, correct?
Yeah, right. But it's making sexual contact with someone, yeah?
Wow. So I'm now
You
going to
just
play.
gave me that
I'm now
definition.
going to go ahead and play you the clip where you said
Right,
if
the
they
same
were
thing
naked,
I just said like 30 seconds ago, okay?
You said if they were naked, then it would be sexual exploitation.
Making sexual contact with them, yes.
Yeah, so sexual conduct would be him looking at them while they're naked. So sexual
Contact.
violence.
You said contact, yeah?
Oh, so sexual violence and sexual conduct, right, are not always physical.
How does that even work?
Well, I'll give this is an example. Peeping Tom.
Okay, so essentially like you're talking about maybe like when trans people enter like restrooms.
Oh, so
And,
if you
like,
think it's
or locker rooms?
so if you think it's sexual exploitation for a trans woman to walk inside of a woman's restroom, well, then you'd have to accept that it's definitely sexual exploitation for Trump to walk into this dressing room. But in fact, you're denying that Donald Trump is engaging in sexual exploitation when he does so, and you're arguing that it's completely morally permissible. So because you're the one that's making the equivocation between the actions of Trump and the actions of trans women, then you're telling me that it's actually acceptable for trans women to use a woman's restroom. So not only did you just lose the debate, because whenever the Republican brings up trans women, right, you know the debate's over because you just pivoted away from the substance of the dialogue, but in fact, according to your logic, it's actually completely morally permissible and totally fine for trans women to use a woman's restroom, considering the fact that you're equivocating that to what Trump did, and you're defending what Trump did, therefore you defend the trans women too. So thank you for acknowledging that you lost the debate by pivoting to trans people. Oh, but trans people, but immigrants. Oh my God, but gay people, right? You know, come on, embarrassing. But then also, according to your logic, you're okay with trans women using the women's restroom. I don't know how.
Once again,
I don't know how you ever see that coming. I don't know how you ever
You're
see that coming.
steamrolling, but I'm asking you a question, which was in that context, in that clip, right? Was he already in these rooms, or was he outside of these rooms? Yes or no? Outside, inside, outside, inside. He said in these clips that he was inside of those rooms.
Yeah, he bragged about walking into the changing rooms and seeing them with no clothes on.
Yeah, like
I mean, like,
yeah,
how could he see doing that? Also, I have a question. Chloe, I have a question. Do you think
Yeah,
it's
I have an
sexual
answer.
exploitation for people that own Airbnbs? Like, say in certain circumstances, this is obviously not true and all. If they were to like literally put cameras in the context of bathrooms to look at people while they're naked, do you think that would be sexual exploitation? Or would you say it's not sexual exploitation because there was no physical contact?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely exploitation.
Okay, so if that's exploitation, so wouldn't exactly that
Right,
be
but I was
sexual
initially speaking about his
no, hold up.
definition.
That proves that sexual exploitation can exist in situations in which there's no physical contact. You just
Okay,
debunked
but if you're
yourself.
standing outside of a door, that's not sexual exploitation.
Okay,
you
so
see what I'm
Chloe-
saying?
so Chloe-
So that's
so can
initially
we
the
just-
question
can
I
we
was
just- can we
asking
just
was whether
clarify
or
here?
not he was inside
Can we
or
just-
outside.
Donald Trump said he barged in. Donald Trump said that he allowed himself in. Plus, he said that he sees the women. The only way that you could see a naked woman changing inside of a private woman's only changing room would to be in the changing room yourself.
After a lot of thought and speaking with my family,
Exactly. That's what it's all about. But this is Dean Withers, and here's a little bit more, just the other part.
Duh! Fucking hell, dude. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, clearly. But I'm asking, I
Clearly.
was asking about that specific
Fucking
clip.
clearly.
Right? Yeah,
Fucking clearly.
Yeah, we know. Okay, so I initially came up here to talk to you about the files, right?
Before we move on, though, we established
Yeah.
that sexual exploitation can occur without physical contact. So then you would agree that Donald Trump engaged in sexual exploitation, correct?
Okay. so-
whatever makes your heart
Okay, so
happy.
then would you support Donald Trump if he engaged in sexual exploitation? No? Okay, so he did engage in sexual
Not in that
exploitation.
moment. I
Hold
still
up,
support my
hold up,
president
hold up.
through and through.
You just said that you wouldn't support Donald Trump if he engaged in sexual exploitation. You just admitted that he did engage in sexual exploitation, so then you don't support him anymore?
No, I do.
Oh, okay. So you
Contradicted
so you
yourself.
willingly and knowingly support somebody as president that you think has sexually exploited naked girls.
Plenty of people have.
Did
Now, girls
Kamala, wait,
is a
whoa,
stretch.
whoa, Chloe. Okay, just because plenty of individuals have engaged in an action doesn't mean that the action's not morally wrong. Think about how many men married children across the world today and 500 years ago, right? It happens
Yeah, it's
so
disgusting.
much that it was deemed as normal. Does that make it any less morally wrong?
No, I actually advocate for that
Fucking
on my page.
precisely, fucking
Right.
precisely. So cut it
Right,
because plenty
right.
of them have done it bullshit, therefore you're okay with it. Not to mention that Kamala Harris sure didn't. Kamala Harris sure didn't sexually
Well, she's a
exploit
woman,
children.
so it's kind of hard to sexually exploit women when you're a woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Do we agree?
So you admit that women are significantly less likely to engage in sexual exploitation than men?
No, I'm not saying that, but women on
Oh,
women
wait,
sexual
whoa,
exploitation-
but that's what the facts
Dean,
say.
you're not even letting me finish my point.
Wait,
like, you're
but also
literally
sexual
just
exploitation. You're crashing out. Calm down. Sexual exploitation is not mutually exclusive to women, right? Men can be sexually exploited too. Boys can be sexually exploited too.
I'm aware of that, but I'm talking about women on women, right? So if a woman walks into a locker room, right,
but Kamala Harris hasn't
It's just
engaged in
woman.
any sexual exploitation. Any. Of men or of women. Of boys or of girls.
you are crashing out because I'm trying to finish my point and you're not even letting me. You're just steamrolling. This is what happens every single time.
Wow.
So can I finish my point, yes or no?
You sound very aggressive.
I sound fine.
I don't know. You sound pretty angry.
I don't know. Okay, so once again, right, when a woman, right, walks into a public restroom or a public changing room or a public locker room, it is way less likely for that to be perceived as sexual exploitation given that it's a woman, right, staring at a woman. Yes or no?
So, well, a woman has consent
Oh
to
my
go
God.
into a woman's space.
Right, exactly my point.
Okay?
So I'm
See,
talking about
but
woman
what
on
I
woman.
said, I don't know why you would just be talking about woman on woman when I said that Kamala Harris hasn't sexually exploited anybody, woman or man.
because we're literally talking about the sexual exploitation of women.
And I responded to you saying that you still support Donald Trump because he sexually exploited individuals, because other individuals have too, by telling you, well, one person that surely hasn't is Kamala Harris. So how could you argue that you still support Donald Trump as president, even though you know he sexually exploited women and girls, by arguing that other individuals have done it too, when Kamala Harris is somebody that hasn't?
Okay, women and girls is a very, very large claim. You're talking about women and then you're talking about girls, which are underage women. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we talking about? What are we talking about when we're talking about girls? Let's get that straight
I'm
first.
doing this at Miss Teen USA.
Miss Teen USA. And what did you say earlier when you were asked about the ages of these girls?
Oh, I said 14 through 19.
14 through 19. You actually said, if I remember correctly, you said 20 to about 28. Yes or no?
That's Miss USA.
That's for Miss USA. Also, it'd be 15 through 19. And also, like, that doesn't... You understand, he gave you accounts for people who literally expressed this. There were people who were there at Miss Teen USA that talked about how Donald Trump would barge in, literally when there were girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. How could you sit there and defend this? How could you say that you still support Trump when Kamala Harris has not engaged in such actions?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking.
Why do you use
I
a good
would love
Christian
for you to sit
still
here, and I
support
would
somebody
love for
who's
you
president
to.
who sexually exploited people? Like, that's sick.
Once again, I would love for you to break these timelines down for me and the ages of these people. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so according to, let's see here, according to Mariah Bilato, who was a former Miss Vermont Teen USA who Donald Trump did this to, she said that this happened to her, many others, with some being as young as 15.
The anonymous ones, yeah?
They are not named. They could have been the anonymous ones, or they could have been individuals that didn't even testify.
So it's kind of outrageous, right, for you to make these claims without decent evidence to back it up.
Yeah, the decent evidence to back it up is the broad sweeping claim that Donald Trump made when he said that he'd do this at the pageants. Now, if, like, you personally think, right, that Donald Trump saying that he would broadly do this at his pageants, and then, like, multiple underage victims saying that he did it to them is not enough evidence, I think that you're crazy. But, like, my response would just simply be, well, then you're arguing that he merely just sexually exploited women, not underage girls. But see, the thing is I don't think that the sexual exploitation of women is too much different than the sexual exploitation of underage girls, because it's sexual exploitation of girls because girls can't consent, and it's sexual exploitation of women because although they have the ability to consent, they didn't consent. So in both circumstances, it would still be unconsensual. Right? But I expect you to do, right, your, like, idolatry of Trump. You treat him like a god. Get that God first out of your body, or Trump first. I expect you to do the MAGA sophistry. I expect you to, you know, like, try to pull on any leg you could find to attempt to stand on to construct an argument, right, that I don't have enough evidence to believe that he did this to underage girls, even though he said he did this at his pageants broadly, and multiple underage victims said he did it to them.
So there you go. This is the whole thing about Donald Trump and what's Dean Withers is explaining to this mega supporter, and it's kind of pathetic in a way. But this is how they act. They're kind of messed up a little bit. All right, we're going to get to some PSAs right here on Wave Cincinnati 88.3 FM.
Tune into Disco World with your host, Disco Dave, as he plays various songs by various artists from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond, along with some other little surprises. So put your dancing shoes on and dance to the beat of the music every Wednesday afternoon from 3 to 4, right here on WAFE 88.3 on your FM dial in Cincinnati, Ohio, or online at www.waferadio.org/listen. ASSE International Student Exchange Program is looking for local families interested in hosting an exchange student. The students are well screened by ASSE, are fluent in English, and are 15 to 18 years old. I don't think anybody's going to want to come do this now. ASSE also offers qualified local students the opportunity to spend a school year or summer with a host family in another country.
Oh, man.
For more information, call ASSE at 1-800-736-1760 or visit their website at www.asse.com. Working smoke detectors can alert you to a fire in your home in time to escape harm. even if you are sleeping.
Okay.
Install smoke detectors on every level of your home, including the basement and outside of each sleeping area. If you sleep with the doors closed, install one inside the area as well. Test your detectors every month and remember to replace the batteries once a year. Replace your detectors that are more than 10 years old. And a little side note, do you know that a lot of times if you call the fire department, they will put in fire detectors for you for free?
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Don't they do carbon monoxide detectors?
Sometimes they will have extra carbon monoxide detectors, but usually carbon monoxide detectors are expensive, but they will also put them in for you.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It really is. Okay, so it is officially 3:39 a.m. When it gets to the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to play some, upbeat music, get you guys up and get you ready to go to work and so forth. But before we do that, we got something to talk about here. Now, the one thing that's happening here, and of course I know it's kind of funky here, but, the weather's been changing. We just got some snow just last night. Some areas of Cincinnati got like 2 to 4 inches, where some other parts of Cincinnati didn't get anything at all. But here's what's really wild. Today, the weather's going to be 35 degrees high with a low of 26 degrees. And then Thursday, it's going to be a high of 31 and a low of 14 degrees with snow, possibly snow on Thursday. Now, they're not saying it's going to be a high chance. It's actually around a 30% chance. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. But it's going to be a very low, freezing digits of 14 degrees. Friday is 34 degrees high and a low of 26 degrees with more snow possible. But it will definitely snow on Saturday with 33 degrees high, a low of 19 degrees. And then Sunday, a high of 29 and a low of 16. By Tuesday, look for more snow, where they're looking at 4 to 6 inches by Wednesday afternoon. So, yes, it is officially wintertime, and the snow is here. So, get prepared, folks, because
we are not prepared.
We're just, everybody's freezing to death. I know we are. But it's crazy. It really is.
And think about those who are homeless.
Yes.
If you have any extra blankets, there are places you can donate extra blankets, extra, coats that don't fit you anymore, shoes. Yeah. And, if you have the means, make a hot meal.
Yeah.
Take it down.
Take them up there. Help them.
Take it down there.
Take it downtown. Look for people on the streets. Even there's a lot of people you'll see laying on benches, and it's so sad when you see that downtown, like people on benches. Sometimes you'll see like somebody pass away, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen that.
We've seen that twice.
It's so terrible because the cops go there, the medics go there, and then they wrap them up in a baggie, and it's terrible, folks. And the thing is, we have to come together more than ever because with the government, with Donald Trump cutting our SNAP benefits, like, food stamps, people being pushed out of their homes. In a matter of fact, officially, some people are being kicked out of these, I guess, what do you call them? Homeless shelters or whatever. Yep. If they're on the street, they're trying to survive with putting up these tents and staying warm. Well, now it's been told by Donald Trump that if you see them talking to the police and military, that they need to go and knock down all the tents and evict the people, push them on the streets where they belong. And so it's getting to the point where it's getting bad with that. But when you see this, people need help more than ever. And that's what we're talking about here. Yeah. But one other thing I wanted to mention, and this is why I mentioned this, because it's so important about this. Now, a lot of people have dealt with this. I used to be a plumber, and living in a plumbing family, that's what we do, of course. Know everything about the plumbing field. Well, I'm going to teach you something real quick. When it is wintertime, when it gets to the 20 degrees mark, we start to see pipes freeze. And if anybody knows this, that pipes freezing can be a very, very bad nightmare.
Very expensive.
Yeah, so let's get to something here we're going to help you out with. First and foremost, whenever you are trying to winterize your home, you want to make sure that on the outside of your house, we call those hose bibs. They're called a hose bib or a faucet.
The thing you put your hose to for the yard.
Yeah, for the yard and everything. So call that a hose bib. The hose bib, if you have a hose attached to it, a garden hose attached to it, take it off of there. Because if you leave it on there during the winter time, what will happen is your lines will freeze all the way back into the pipe. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Jerry, the thing says that it's a this is a anti-siphon or anti-freeze hose bib. Just because it says that doesn't mean that it's not going to freeze, because a hose bib will freeze. It will freeze. Literally will freeze. So
yeah, like just because like the device itself on the outside of the house may be quote unquote unfreezable,
yeah,
the copper line underneath is not. So if that freezes, that copper line expands.
Yes.
And then by the time spring comes, it thaws. It's busted.
All that ice because you got to think what happens is it basically swells the pipe to where it splits, and then you're thinking, oh well, there's no water coming through it because there's ice. But as soon as that ice melts, then it's all hell breaks loose, because all that water is going to start pouring out of the hole, the split, and then next minute you got water all over the place. So, and this could be something as simple as in a wall. We've seen pipes in the walls, like especially on the back walls, like laundry rooms or garages or kitchen sinks or whatever, but there won't be much insulation, and all of a sudden you'll see that these lines start to freeze. So again, getting back to what I was saying, your hose bibs, take the hoses off. Okay, don't leave them on, and that's just a reminder to everybody. So don't do that. Excuse me. Also,
kind of wheezy, my love.
I know. So also, the other things you could do to winterize your pipes and everything, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, get some pipe insulation. Now, it looks like styrofoam. It's exactly what it looks like, styrofoam. One of the things you can do is you can either buy the styrofoam tubes and put it around the pipes. A lot of times you're going to see it come in 1/2 inch or 3/4. So when you buy it, you're going to either get a 1/2 inch or 3/4. Probably going to get both, because you're going to need both sizes. But you cut the pipe, or cut the insulation. A lot of it's already split, and then it has like a sticky tape on it. And what you do is you peel it back. You peel back the one side, the plastic, and then it sticks to the other side. However, let me tell you something else you can do.
Cheap trick.
Little cheap way of doing this. Go and find pool noodles that you use for pools. And take those pool noodles and cut it from point A to point B right down the middle. And when you cut it horizontally right down down the line, you can take that, wrap it around the pipes, and then tape it up. And that's another way you can do that to keep yourself on a
little
cheap
tip
ways.
of the trick.
Yeah, little cheap ways. Now, some other things we're going to talk about that's really important about, some safety tips.
That even goes good for people who are in apartments who landlord doesn't want to do anything. Take a
Just
pool
do
noodle, wrap your pipes.
That's what I would recommend. I mean, it's a cheap way. It's not hard. Also, in the wintertime when it is really freezing, you want to turn your water on in all your faucets.
That very tiny
tiny trickle. You don't need it pouring
also,
out.
open up your cabinets.
Yes, open up your cabinets, let the heat flow through, put some electric heaters in these areas like down in the basement. You can also get lots of blankets, towels, bath towels, but you want to take all these things, wrap it around like crawl spaces,
Pipes that are near a concrete wall.
If the pipes are facing near the concrete walls, take the blankets and wrap the pipes up in them.
Also, little side note, I just read an article. Did you know on Monday, Senator Bernie Moreno,
Oh yeah, Bernie Moreno.
the Republican from Ohio, introduced an Executive Citizen Act of 2025
Oh geez.
to establish that citizens of the United States must sole and exclusively alliance to the United States, aka he's bringing a bill that dual citizenship is no longer allowed.
Of course
You
it is.
have to basically say, I am an American citizen and that's it. You cannot have a dual citizenship
Well,
because your alliance should be to the United States.
where's your alliance at? It's with the United States. Oh my God.
Yep.
I mean, this stuff is just pathetic. It's just pathetic.
The bill
guys. I'm
also
sorry.
states
I'm
that
sorry.
the current law allows certain United States citizens to maintain a foreign citizenship,
No,
which could create conflict of interest,
that's so stupid.
says Marino.
All right. Well, that is dumb, and it goes along with, our lovely governor, Mike DeSwine. By the way, Mike DeSwine is trying to eliminate some weird stuff. Did you hear about that? Governor Mike DeSwine is actually working with our state police officers and FBI. What he wants to do is put over. Now check this out. He wants to put over 5,000 police officers, state troopers, FBI agents in downtown Cincinnati.
Why?
He wants to put 5,000 police officers and FBI agents also in downtown Dayton. And he feels like this would be to deter crime and to eliminate crime
Have you ever been downtown?
in these areas.
Do you see how heavily it is? I mean, we deliver food and boxes and stuff. We see how heavily the
Yeah.
police go through that area. Does it stop them?
No, it doesn't. Here's the crazy part, though. And this is what's funny. So Mike DeSwine says he would love to see the max of 30,000 police officers and FBI agents in Cincinnati, Dayton, Cleveland, and Columbus.
Basically, all the Democratic cities.
Yes, this is so stupid, but this is what he wants to do. You know what this is? It's so that they can place these people there.
Isn't that like basically the entire
They're getting ready
amount
to-
of police
Yeah.
in Ohio?
Well, let me tell you what it is. He is doing exactly what Trump wants him to do.
Yep.
Trump wants people to do this, and all these governors to do this in every state. And what he's going to do is martial law.
Yeah.
And martial law will allow these police officers and military and FBI to take over the citizens of the United States. And if you could put all your pawns in the place and say, checkmate, that's what he's doing.
That means
Yeah.
curfews.
Curfews.
That means stricter rules and regulations. And that means Donald Trump never has to
leave office.
office.
And
Nor any of his mega, because they do not need a vote.
they can shoot you on sight. And
Yeah.
they have proper authority to do it. They don't even have to ask questions.
They are judge, jury, and executioner.
This is where they put the tanks in the streets. This is where they put barricades up. This is where they do the checkpoints, and you have to do checkpoints and have, showing authorization for you to be outside the curfew zones.
And it's
stuff
not
like
just
that.
Donald Trump that's doing this. Is his mega followers. This is all stuff that they've probably wanted to do their whole careers.
Oh my God, yes.
And now they have somebody who is actually allowing them to do it. So what better way to stop people from quote unquote voter fraud
Right.
is by condemning martial law, where I don't ever have to leave office. Mike DeSwine can always stay governor or whatever in the hell he is
Yeah.
for the rest of his life or even beyond.
It's so funny because these Republicans have so many bad ratings. For example, Donald Trump his presidential well, I should say his rating right now as a president is 33%. It went down. It used to be 38% last week. Now it's 33%. When he started out in January, it was 78%. 78% of his approval rating. Now it's 33%. Guess who the biggest number that they took the poll from? Republicans.
Oh, no, really?
And the Republicans are pissed at him, so he's losing ground in, with support of his MAGA people.
And not all Republicans, just like in anything in life, are bad people.
No, not all.
Or want bad things. They want good things for this country. It's the megas that are controlling everything.
Yep.
That are going to put every single one of us in the grave because they can care less.
Yeah. And you got to get prepared for it, folks, because it's going to be like medical coverage. Your medical coverage is getting ready to go bye-bye.
Yep.
Your Social Security benefits, your SNAP benefits. All these are going to be problematic situations for people coming up.
It's also including anything that you HEAP programs,
The HEAP.
rent assistance programs,
Yes.
daycare programs.
Oh, by the way, the child tax credit's going away.
Yeah,
So when it comes to tax season in 2026,
it'll be gone.
it's gone. You will not have a tax credit for your children. The marriage tax that's going away.
What is it called? Work privilege tax or something?
Work privilege tax, that's going away.
That's gone too.
And by the way, your tips, you know how Donald Trump said there's going to be no tax on tips? Get this. It's only for certain qualified people.
Exactly.
Which means
Not
that,
the people down the bar who are making $500 a week in tips, but only paying taxes on $200.
I think the ones that they only pretty much are accepting are like waitresses that work in restaurants.
Yeah, but it's
a food industry like Perkins or Bob Evans.
Yeah, it has to be chain.
Yeah, it has to be a chain restaurant, right?
Or chain bar.
But this is what they're finding. And here's the other thing I'm hearing a lot of. Like, you hear a lot of the Republican MAGAs saying, "Hey, we're going to be getting $2,000 checks pretty soon. It's going to go to our medical coverage." Now, there's a stipulation of that too.
You can't just use that $2,000 on anything. No. It's like that PPP loan. You have to prove what it's going to, aka that money has to go to your $16,000 a month premium.
Yeah. It's so funny because how Donald Trump can dupe his people into believing anything. Like, for example, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go give you guys some money. Here comes some money. I'm going to shut you up." And then he doesn't give you nothing. For example, Doge. When Elon Musk was doing all these cuts, he said, we're going to find so much lost money that we're going to be able to give everybody $5,000.
It was $7,000.
It was $7,000, and then went down to $5,000. And he said, we're going to give all these people that we get enough to give money to every single person in America. Guess what? Did it happen? You got your $7,000? No.
And this tariff money that's supposed to go to Americans, it was supposed to give out checks to Americans with this tariff money.
Tariff money.
Oh, but the reason they couldn't use that tariff money to help keep food stamps going in November is because that's earmarked for something else.
I'm sure it is. Donald Trump's ballroom.
They didn't say what it was, but it's earmarked for something else.
It's so funny, though, that, you have this ballroom that Donald Trump spent billions of dollars on. You have the idea that Donald Trump, bailed out Argentina with $40 billion. And so, these are places where people are we're thinking in America, we're like, look, Donald, we're having problems. You're shitting on everybody here in America, but you're giving these bailout money to Argentina. You're giving money to everybody else. You're trying to help them. And you don't give two craps about your own country.
Because they're not making him money. We're not making him
That's what
money.
it is, yeah.
It's the other countries that are allowing him to open up resorts in their country that is
That's what
making
it
him
is.
money. The planes that he is giving away to Saudi Arabia
Mm-hmm.
is allowing him to have a $500 billion freaking
Yeah.
resort,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
The people
The Saudis.
that he's loving, that please come here.
Come to me.
I will help do whatever. The American people don't care that
No.
I'm giving away all of their money.
No. It's so funny because like he's allowing like these Saudi Arabians to the Qatar basically. He's allowing